Hi Year 2, welcome to Maths Week 3. This is your second Maths of the week and we're going to have a look at our slides. So here are our slides for week 3, lesson 2. As normal, make sure that you have your pencil and some paper before you start, and make sure you know how to pause the video so you can come back to it. Let me do this one and you can see everything a bit bigger. Okay, so this is the second part of our maths. Can I use standard units to measure? So remember that we're measuring mass, we're measuring how heavy something is or how light something is. And last time we were measuring in grams. Now we are going to look today at measuring in kilograms. So in lesson 2, we looked at measuring objects in grams. These objects were small. So the objects we were measuring was a ruler, a teddy bear, an apple, a pencil. All those things we could measure in grams because they were quite small. So now we're going to look at how to measure the mass of bigger objects. And to measure the mass of bigger objects, we need to use kilograms or kilograms. And a kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams. So last week when we were looking at measuring, we were looking at meters and centimeters, and there was 100 centimeters in a meter. But today we're looking at mass in kilograms and grams, and there's 1,000 grams in a kilogram. So it's quite a lot different there. Okay, when you fly on an aeroplane, obviously we haven't been doing that for a while, the mass of your bag is checked to see if it's safe to go on the plane. So remember, you lift it up onto the little conveyor belt thing, and the person behind the desk checks to see how heavy or light your bag is, because there's a weight limit on planes to make sure that it's safe. And so here's a suitcase, it's on the balance scale. We looked at these earlier. And here, instead of these saying grams, they say kilograms. So this suitcase, the mass of the suitcase is 15 grams. It weighs the same as these 2 gram weights, a 10 and a 5. So you might have some digital scales in your bathroom, and these are used to measure you. And the mass of me is 60 kilograms. It might be a bit more now that we've been in quarantine for so long, but definitely before, I used to weigh 60 kilograms. So your activity 1 is to look in your cupboards to see if you can find any food packets that show kilograms. So here, these are all the things I could find in my, these are all the things I could find in my cupboard this morning. In my house, we bought one of these, a kilogram tub of almond butter, because we've been making cookies and we've been having it on our cereal. And here is some couscous. I talked about that earlier. This was lighter than my kettle, but this is a kilogram bag of couscous. And here is some rice, and I bought a kilogram bag of rice. So go through your cupboards and have a look, maybe look for things like potatoes or pasta or grains like couscous. You often buy those in big packets like these, which come in a kilogram. So have a look if you can see those. You could also measure heavier objects in your house using any bathroom scales you have. So you might need a grown-up's permission. You might need to ask if you can do this one, or need some help with this one. Put some things on your scales and see how heavy they are. You could also measure you if you want to. You could measure your mass, just like you measured your height last week. You can have a go at measuring you if you want to, just like I had a go at measuring me. Okay, this is your activity 2. It's your white row sheet. It's measuring in kilograms. So here it says listen to me if you want to. You can listen to me now. I'm going to talk you through this one. So I'm going to make it a bit bigger. Okay, so what is the mass of each object? So this picture I used on our slide. So we've talked about this one already. The suitcase is equal to 15 kilograms because I've got a 10 kilogram weight and I've got a 5 kilogram weight. So I add those two together. So you do the same for the robot. How heavy is the robot? It's a very heavy robot. Add together those 3 units. You might want to do that on your piece of paper. You can think about counting in 10s and then counting in 2s as well. And here it says the flour. So this might be one of the things that you have found in your cupboard today. Have a look how heavy in kilograms, the mass of the flour in kilograms. You've got some 2 kilogram weights and you've got some 1 kilogram weights. So add those together. Question 2, how many kilograms does Amir weigh? So you can look here and you can see how many 5 kilogram weights are needed to balance out the weight of Amir. Here, question 3, you've got a 40 kilogram weight on a balance scale. Circle the weights that will balance the scale. So here you need to find some of the weights that will weigh the same as this 40 kilogram weight, and you can circle them. Or you can write them on your piece of paper. Find another way. So you've got the same weights, but you need to find a different way than you did for A. So a different way to make 40 out of those kilogram weights. Okay, question 4, what is the mass of each object? So here you have got some analog scales again, but instead of being in grams like they were before, they are in kilograms. So remember last time we talked about the different increments, the different stages of the scale. So here, you've got to think about what goes between 0 and 2 kilograms. And you've got to move all the way around and think about what number is going to be here between 6 and 8 to measure the same as the cookies. Here you've got a barrel, pardon me, and you need to have a look again at your scales. Here you need to look about what's going to be in between 0 and 20. And then you need to use that information to fill in your scale all the way around until you get to here. So have a think about what's going to be between 40 and 60. And then how are you going to work out this one? Okay, question 5. Mo weighs his dog in January and in June. In January, the dog weighs 15 kilograms, and in June, the dog weighs 28 kilograms. So the dog has put on some weight. How much heavier is the dog in June? So you've got a couple of ways to work this out. You might want to count on from 15 to 28, or you might want to count back from 20 until you get to 28 until you get to 15. You could draw yourself a number line if you wanted to on your piece of paper and work it out that way. Or you can have a think about counting on or back. Okay, B, by December, the dog's weight has increased by another 10 kilograms. Draw an arrow to show the weight of the dog in December. So first of all, you need to have a think about this one, June 28, and then by December, the dog has increased by another 10 kilograms. So have a think about this one, add 10, and then you've got to put it on your scale. So this is where 40 kilograms is, this is 0. Have a think then what's going to be in the middle of 0 and 40. And then this is your point where you draw your arrow to show how heavy the dog is. By December, Mo's dog weighs this one, add this one. Okay, question 6. Mark the mass on each scale. So here, the analog scales are in different increments again. So you need to think about where would 15 be? If this is 0 and 10, and this is 10 and 20, where would you put 15? And here you've got the same increments, 10, 20, 30, but you need to put 27 on. So use this as your point where you're going to draw your arrow from. Can you show 27? Okay, well done for all of that. Can't wait to see it all on Google Classroom. Well done.